In this video, we will be discussing question number 31 till 40 of October-November 2021, variant 1, 2. Question number 31, the table gives properties of the four metal P, Q, R, and S. Now, they have given us three columns. One is the method of extraction, the second is reaction with water, and the third one is reaction with acids. Now, let's see for the P. The method of extraction is electrolysis. So that means when you talk about the metals, so this belongs to the top chunk. The top chunk of the elements, they can be extracted by electrolysis because they are very reactive metals. So we require a strong reduction process in order to extract. So this is what we have studied in O levels, that these are the elements which are extracted by the electrolysis. They're extracted by electrolysis. And these are the elements which are extracted on reacting with the reducing agents. And below are the elements which are thermally extracted. When we heat them, they can be easily extracted. Okay, so electrolysis, that means P belongs to this category, electrolysis only, but it has no reaction with water, neither it has a reaction with acid. Now we need to understand that these elements, they do react with water, they do react with acid, but aluminium is a special one because aluminium has a layer around it of aluminium oxide, which is basically a non-porous layer. This non-porous layer make it unreactive to water and unreactive to acids. So we have to remove this layer with the sandpaper, and then only the aluminium becomes reactive. So let's say the P is somewhere on the top because it's been extracted by electrolysis. Let's move to the next Q. Heating oxide, the Q oxide, you need to heat with the carbon, react slowly with steam, react slowly with acid. So Q is, because we can see another one, electrolysis, so definitely R या तो P के around ही आएगा. So let's keep Q here because Q जो है आपका reducing agent, कार्बन से आप इसको या हाइड्रोजन से आप इसको एक्सट्रैक्ट करते हैं, और Q को हमने P के नीचे रखा है, और ये स्टीम के साथ भी रिएक्ट कर रहा है, स्लोली एसिड के साथ भी रिएक्ट कर रहा है. Coming to the R electrolysis, we extracting it through electrolysis, rapidly react with steam and rapidly react with basically water. So R is going to be above P because it's reacting with the steam and it's reacting with an acid both. Now heating, S is heating its oxide with carbon, but it has no reaction with water and no, so that means it's below hydrogen. So S is going to be below Q. So on the basis of the reactivity, we have positioned P, Q, R, and S in this particular form. So this is the reactivity of these elements. जो इनकी properties, जो इनकी characteristic दिए हैं, उसके basis पर I've arranged PQRS as R, PQ, and S. R is the most reactive, and this is S is basically your least reactive. Okay, now which statement is correct? P is least reactive? No, that's incorrect. The P is not least reactive. Q would displace R from the solution of its salt can. Q displace R. The Q is below, is less in reactivity than R. So this displacement will also not take place. Now R could be zinc. R cannot be zinc. R is on the top. The zinc, when we see here, the zinc is below. It's not that reactive. So R, अगर ये R होता तो P से नीचे होता. तो this is not zinc. That's again incorrect. S could be copper. Yes, S is not reacting with water. It's not reacting with acids. So yes, this could be copper. This could be S. Copper could be S. So that is a correct statement on the basis of the observations they have given us, on the basis of details, the characteristic they have given us, and when it is definitely matching with our knowledge. So yes, the answer for question number 31 is basically your D. 32, which statement about extracting metal from their ores are correct? इससे पहले वाला question भी was based on the extraction, and we have learn few facts related to extraction. Extraction is basically your reduction process. ठीक है, ये आपकी reduction process होती है. Now, aluminium is extracted by electrolysis of aluminium oxide dissolved in cryolite. Absolutely correct statement. That is how we do it. Or silver is difficult to extract from its ore because of slow reactivity. It's not difficult to extract. Silver के जो ores को अगर हम simply heat करें तो we easily extract हो जाते हैं. ठीक है, so it's not difficult, it's easy to extract them. So that means the statement 2 is incorrect. Iron extracted from the hematite by the reduction in the blast furnace. As I already told you, the extraction is a reduction process. So yes, 1 and 3 are correct. So 1 and 3 are correct. So option B will be correct, where 1 and 3 are only correct statements here. 2 is wrong. So question number 32, we have the correct option B. Question number 33, which statement about the corrosion of iron are correct? Corrosion can be prevented by coating the iron with zinc, and the process is known as galvanizing. Galvanization. ठीक है, we call the process galvanization, where we coat the iron object with zinc, either by electroplating it or by dipping, whatever the method. So it is basically a sacrificial protection, where a more reactive metal, when it is coating the less reactive, so it sacrifices itself in order to prevent the less reactive from getting corroded off. The corrosion only occur in the presence of air and water. Yes, that's again correct option. That's again a correct option. So the presence of air and water is needed for corrosion. Basically, the corrosion of iron is known as rusting. So for rusting, these are the two factors which are important. If any one of them is absent, the rusting will not take place. Rust is an alloy. No, rust is not an alloy. So that's incorrect. Sacrificial protection occurs when an iron is coated with a less reactive. No, the more they are coated with the more reactive. As I said कि जैसे कि ऊपर हमने zinc से coat किया था, zinc is more reactive. Similarly, more reactive like magnesium or more reactive like zinc, if they coat them, so they can, these more reactive can sacrifice themselves in order to prevent the less reactive iron from corrosion or from rusting. So that is why we have option 1 and 2 correct. So question number 33, the correct answer is going to be A. Question number 34, in the extraction of aluminium from aluminium oxide, the following three reactions take place. Number one, aluminium ion is combining with electrons to form aluminium. Oxide ion is losing 4 electrons to form oxygen. Carbon combining with oxygen plus carbon dioxide. This is your cathodic reaction. This reaction take place at the cathode. This is your cathodic equation. And this is going to be an anodic equation. At the anode, the oxygen is being formed, and this is a side reaction which take place. This is a side reaction which take place at the anode, because आपका जो anode है, anode in the extraction of aluminium, in the aluminium's electrolytic cell, the anode is basically made up of carbon. So the liberated oxygen that combines with the carbon to produce this particular reaction, this is a side reaction which take place where the carbon, the anode combines with the liberated oxygen to form carbon dioxide. This reaction is an exothermic reaction which adds on the energy to the cell, और आपको जो सेल की जो एक्स्ट्रा जो एनर्जी चाहिए होती है उसको उसको थोड़ा सा मिनिमाइज करती है. So the reaction 2 and 3, they are basically the reaction which take place at the anode. Which reaction take place at the positive electrode? That means which reaction they take place at the anode. So the reaction 2 and 3 take place. So the answer for question number 34 is D. Moving to question number 35, which statements are correct? Chlorination is used to remove the unpleasant taste from the drinking water. It's not the chlorine, it's the carbon. The carbon is used to remove the unpleasant taste from drinking water. So this is incorrect. Desalination can be achieved using distillation. Yes, it is possible. The presence of the phosphate in the water and soil encourages the plant growth. Yes, that leads to the presence of phosphate and nitrates. They leads to eutrophication. And what is And what is eutrophication? It's an algae bloom. It's basically other name for algae bloom. They accelerate the growth of algae on the surface on the water bodies. So the second and third statements are correct. So question number 35, we have the second and third option correct. C answer, C option is correct for question number 35. Question number 36, two isomers are shown. What are isomers? First, we need to understand. Isomers are basically the compounds of organic compounds where they have the same molecular formula. They have the same molecular formula, but they have different structural formula. Now let's see, two isomers are shown. They are isomers. Let's see, are they molecular formula same? So how many carbon do you have? 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have C4 and 3 plus 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is C4H10. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is again C4 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is C4H10. So which statement about these isomers are correct? They have the same empirical formula. If we talk about the empirical formula is a simple ratio formula. It's a simple ratio of the molecular formula. So they both have the same molecular formula. So yes, the empirical formula is going to be same. So one is correct. They have the different molecular formula. As I told you initially that the isomers are the one with the same molecular formula. So this is wrong. So option 2 is incorrect because they will be having isomers, they'll be having the same molecular formula. They are the member of the same homologous series. Yes, they are, because they all have the carbon-carbon single bond. And apart from that, they don't have any other functional group present. So 1 and 3 being correct. So option B is correct for question number 37. Moving to question number 37, a hydrocarbon compound Q has a molecular formula CXHY. It's a hydrocarbon. Q reacts with hydrogen to form a single product and a molecular formula is C6H5HY plus 2. So this is indicating it is an alkane because यहाँ पर hydrogen के साथ react करके alkenes जो हैं वो alkanes देते हैं. Which statement about Q is correct? Which statement about Q is correct? We need to see Q does not burn in air. All the hydrocarbons and all the organic compounds, they undergo combustion. So we will not agree with A because it says that not burn. So that is incorrect. Q is a saturated hydrocarbon. We have analyzed कि ये alkane form कर रहा है on reaction with hydrogen. So this definitely is going to be an alkene. And alkenes are your unsaturated, they are basically unsaturated hydrocarbon. They are unsaturated hydrocarbon because they have carbon-carbon double bond present in them. So this is not saturated, but they are unsaturated. So B is again wrong. Q reacts with bromine to form a single product with a molecular formula CXHY minus 1Br. It's not going to be minus here. So अब आप यहाँ पर अगर bromine, अगर let's take alkene, ethene here. We have C double bond C and we have 4 hydrogen here. When it react with the bromine, जब यहाँ पर ये react करेगा bromine के साथ Br2, तो क्या होगा, ये जो डबल बॉन्ड है that will be changed into a single bond. ये जो है it will be changing into a single bond, and then what will happen, the 2 bromines will be attached to this. ठीक है, 1 bromine will be attached to this part and 1 bromine will be attached to another carbon in order to satisfy this. तो यहाँ पर ये formula नहीं आता. You will be getting a formula which is CXHY and Br2. This is going to be the product, not this, right? So this is again the option C is wrong. It reacts with the steam it reacts with the steam to form a single product with a molecular formula CXHY plus 2O. That's absolutely correct. Question number 37, we will be getting an answer this. So let's take example of ethene again here. We have, this is an ethene, right? When it reacts with water, water can be taken as H and OH. So जब इन दोनों का आपस में reaction होता है तो double bond changes into a single bond. This breaks down, right? और एक तरफ हाइड्रोजन ऐड हो जाएगा, इधर एक कार्बन पे हाइड्रोजन ऐड हो जाएगा और दूसरे कार्बन पे OH ऐड हो जाएगा. तो ये आपको मॉलिक्यूलर फॉर्मूला जो है, दिस इज गोइंग टू गिव द मॉलिक्यूलर फॉर्मूला एज C2, whatever the C2H, it's going to give you H6 and O. So basically क्या हुआ आपका C2H4 से C2H6 हो गया. तो basically that is CXHY, whatever Y was, हमारे पास C2H4 था, तो Y जो हो गया +2 हो गया, 6 हो गया, and this is O. So this is basically the general formula generated from this, right? So the question number 37, the right option for this is going to be D. This is the correct answer. Question number 38, which structural formula represent an alcohol? Alcohol has hydroxyl group, right? This is known as hydroxyl group. It's very different from hydroxide. Hydroxide are basically NaOH, KOH. Their functional group is a hydroxide. This is hydroxyl group. It's a functional group of organic compounds. So hydroxyl, we are going to look for a hydroxyl group here, right? So let's see, this has an O, oxygen only. Yes, here we have a hydroxyl group. This is carboxyl group, which is basically COH, right? And this is again oxygen in the center, oxygen. So B is the correct answer, where we can see the hydroxyl group. So question number 38, the correct answer is B. Question number 39, which statement about carboxylic acid is correct? They are prepared by the oxidation of alkanes. They're prepared by the oxidation of alcohols, not alkanes. So A is incorrect. They decolorizes bromine water. No, they do not decolorize bromine water. Bromine water is decolorized by alkenes because of the carbon-carbon double bond. That's again incorrect. They react with an alcohol to form an ester. Yes, that's absolutely correct. That's one of the chemical property of carboxylic acid. They react with the carbonate to form salt, hydrogen and water. It's not hydrogen. They will be reacting with carbonate to form salt, carbon dioxide and water, which makes the D incorrect. So question number 39, we have the C, the correct option. Coming to the last question, the question number 40, P is a polymer, which is definitely made from the monomer, right? Which is made from monomer. And polymerization are of two types. Polymerization, there are two types of polymerization in our syllabus. Number one, it's an addition polymerization, right? And number two, we have condensation polymerization. In condensation polymerization, when the two monomers, they combine together, the elimination of a small molecule like water take place. And whenever the addition polymerization take place, it's actually the double bond should exist in the monomer, which transform into carbon-carbon single bond. So that is the basic understanding of the polymerization, right? Now let's see what is the question and how we have to solve it. P is a polymer, has 6 carbon atom in each of its monomer. It is made up of a monomer which is made up of 6 carbon from which it is being formed, right? So that is the basic understanding. Moving ahead, it says that it is not a polyester. So that definitely it's not, when we talk about the condensation polymerization, they have the linkages. They have either the ester linkage or they have the amide linkage. Ester linkage is, these are linkage means these are the repeat units which are common throughout the polymer. This is an ester linkage, it's C double bond O and O, and the amide linkage is basically C double bond O NNH. So they are saying that this is not it doesn't have an ester linkage, right? So definitely it might have an amide linkage. Then let's proceed. It is formed using the condensation polymerization. तो इनका कहना ये है कि एडिशन polymerization तो है ही नहीं, तो अब ester भी नहीं है, तो what is left? We have to look for the polymer which has this amide linkage in it, and it has the monomers which have 6 carbons. So these are the two information which are given to us. The two information are basically that this is a polymer which has got just amide linkage in it, right? This is a linkage, this is a repeat linkage, we have to check in it, and it has carbon 6 carbon, right? So D is out of question because D आपका जो है वो addition polymer का polymer है, और A is out of question because यहाँ पर ये ester linkage है, तो A भी नहीं हो सकता. Now we have to select an answer between A and B. अब हमें जो सिलेक्शन करनी है उसके अंदर देखना है कि कार्बन 6 का पॉलीमर मोनोमर कौन सा है. अब यहाँ से लिंकेजेस हम ब्रेक करेंगे. अब इस लिंकेज के अंदर, इस मोनोमर के अंदर 6 कार्बन ये है, और ये 7th है, और ये 8th है. तो इस मोनोमर में आपके पास 8 कार्बन है, जिसकी वजह से ये वाला ऑप्शन जो है नहीं हो सकता. और यहाँ पर कितने, इट हैज, इसके अंदर 6 कार्बन, तो इसके अंदर एक मोनोमर आपका 8 कार्बन का है और एक मोनोमर आपका 6 कार्बन का है, जो कि यहाँ पर ये इस स्टेटमेंट को निगेट करता है. तो बी आपका आंसर इनकरेक्ट है. नाउ लेट्स सी कि इस लिंकेज को हमने यहाँ से ब्रेक किया. अब यहाँ पर 4 कार्बन है इसके अंदर, these are 4 carbon. This is going to be your 5th one, and this is going to be your 6th one. So this has 6 carbon here, and this again has got 6 carbon here. So yes, C option is going to be your correct options for question number 40, because it says that it has 6 carbon monomers present in it. So the option number C for question 40 is the correct answer.